There we go, peeps, and welcome if you are joining us on this, again, lovely Saturday morning for our weekly recap show. And I think I'm starting to get used to this early morning Saturdays. it's still a bit tough, but we're getting there. And we're going to have a very interesting show this morning, and I've got some people with me. As always, I've got the crew, unfortunately -1 this morning because of the internet gremlins and something eating his wires. But I have Bravo 3 with me. Slash, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, bro, I don't know about getting easier. This morning is quite tough. So it's very early for me this morning.
Yeah,
but all good.
I'm wondering whether winter mornings will be different for us than the summer. I mean, the summer mornings are relatively easy, right? I mean, you get up and you're not, semi-hibernating. But winter mornings are a bit more tough, right?
For sure, and it's getting quite chilly here in the Joburg region. So yeah, winter is upon us.
Oh, I'm not loving it. All right. Then we have two other guests with us this morning as well. First of all, we have from GSE, we have Salty Pie. Salty, what's up, buddy?
How's it, guys?
Lucky, man. Good that you can join us. And then from SBK, we have... No, I'm kidding. We have Venom. But if you guys know Venom and you've seen his name, you would understand why I said to him this morning when we were speaking, I said, look, I looked at your name last night and I had no idea. I thought, I'm just going to ask you. And then when he said Venom, I realized that's actually quite simple. That does look like Venom. So we've got Venom as well. So welcome, gents. Glad you guys could join us.
Thanks.
Great, man, great. So, guys, last week on the recap show, we did say that we were going to have these two teams in here because we're interested in, because they're both new teams and they both joined the league in season 2. We wanted to sort of, have a chat with them and find out how they are experiencing the league, how are things happening from their perspective. So obviously that's the reason for them being here this morning. But before we get on to that, let's just talk a little bit about some interesting things that happened this week. And I guess the thing that everyone is talking about is the announcement that is coming up next week which is now known officially as Battlefield 5. So I mean that's super exciting, and I mean I'd love to hear some of the views that you guys have. Slash, maybe let's start there with you.
Yeah, look, interesting what everybody came up with. I think there's a lot of things that floated around. In Skelly's absence, he even had some out of space things going on there. But I honestly hope it's just the follow up. I think it will be good. To just continue this game mode into World War II. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Venom.
Yeah, I like to see like a follow up World War II maybe, or maybe even Vietnam, but not too futuristic. Let's not go going to space just yet.
Yeah, that's the thing with Battlefield, right? I mean, look, I'm not against, sort of laser guns and, anti-personnel mines that, sort of melt your face or anything like that. But I generally do enjoy the realistic warfare element a lot more than something that futuristic, right?
Yeah, having a bit more realistic is always a bit more fun, and always looking at the historical part of it, it's also nice.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about it, the sort of game engine that Battlefield is built on. I mean, Battlefield is now built on Frostbite 3, and if you think about that, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it, but unfortunately, the COD trailer was also released this week. In terms of the new Call of Duty that's coming as well, Black Ops, that's Black Ops 4. And if you think about the engine that they use the original, I think it's the Quake engine. So obviously the the game is a little bit dated in terms of the way it looks. And part of what makes Battlefield more real is the amount of reality that they built into the levels that we play on Battlefield. I mean, if you think about in Battlefield 4 about Levolution, with the buildings dropping and this and that, and what if you think about the atmospheric conditions in Battlefield 1 in terms of the fog and the dust and the sandstorms and that sort of thing. So these guys, from a Battlefield perspective, I mean, they do a very good job at trying to make it as real as possible from that perspective, and then obviously trying to keep the storyline or the gameplay or the game style also more realistic when it comes to the warfare element of it. So, again, while I'm not against sort of futuristic stuff, I do think that the reality of war for me from this perspective is a little bit better. So I like that idea. Salty, what's your view?
Yeah, I feel the same. I mean, I like the reality thing, but I don't think they could actually bring out anything that I wouldn't like, as long as it's got like feedback and the beautiful scenery and.
Spoken like a true gamer, man. They can't bring out anything that I won't like. I'll still buy it. Absolutely. So yeah, a lot of hype going on. I mean, at the moment, look, everybody's hyping about a little blue screen with a 5 on it, right? We don't really know what we're hyping about. So everybody's just like, Battlefield 5, and, everybody's sending around the blue screen. So I've seen that like, I don't know, 200 times. So we'll see, obviously this week we'll see a little bit more. But I mean, if you can imagine if we've had this amount of hype around, a little blue screen, the amount of hype when we actually do see a little bit of, either gameplay or a trailer or something like that, I think it's going to be hectic. Obviously, from our perspective, from an organizing perspective, for Clan Wars and for the Battlefield, sort of community, I think it's a great thing. It does. I must tell you that for me personally, and I'd like to hear what you guys think as well, but for me personally, I mean, I played Battlefield 4 for a very long time, right? Probably around the full extent of its commercial lifetime of about 3 years. But it does feel to me like we've had another Battlefield quicker than previously. Because I remember playing Battlefield 4 thinking, yes, when is their new game going to come out? And then Battlefield 1 launched, and now we already know about Battlefield 5. So it does feel a little bit quicker to me than the last time. I don't know what your views are.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely quicker.
Yeah, my first Battlefield was Battlefield 1, so I don't really know.
So basically, I'm very new to Battlefield. Like, I've only been playing like for a year. So
really,
and I'm waiting for the next game to come out. I'm on the seat, yeah. Like, please, next one.
We all on the seat, buddy. I'm probably on your lap on the seat. So
on the edge of my seat.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's everyone, right? I think that if you are a fan, of Battlefield, I think everybody feels that way, right? We can't wait. We want to see what it's like, and that sort of thing. So I guess that's the first thing that I just wanted to quickly touch on before we get chatting about who you guys are and how are you finding the comps and that sort of thing. But Slash, I want to give you a quick opportunity just to maybe recap for the guys on the importance of the Clan Wars admin side of it, capturing the fixtures and that sort of thing, and maybe then also just rehash for us on the weapon side of things, because I saw some questions to you during the week about the new DLC weapons and that sort of thing. So maybe I know you want to maybe just touch on that as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, at this point, currently Nico was out last week. Well, this current week. Some personal things that happened, and Riplets took over everything while I'm also running around. So the admin part becomes quite hectic at some points when you need to load fixtures and you need to load results, and it's vital that bit of admin from the clan leaders and the teams actually comes through, so that these kind of morning events that we do hold stacks up. and as you move during the week, that you can actually see where you are sitting as your team. So we try and update these kind of things on a daily basis to reflect, live what has happened the previous evening.
Yep.
We need guys to just step up and do that bit of admin, and only on the individual clan side of things that they need to push it through to us.
Yep.
And then I think the question has been asked before on the DLC weapons. At this stage, I think the call was that we keep it in play, and then we ask you guys, which one of these guns that they've put in there do you think is just too overpowering, and then we can look at them and remove them. But because they've been put into the base game, the rule states that any base game weapon is allowed, and we do understand that there is some of these guns now that's been put in that might be too overpowering. But we don't want to always make those calls and just give a flat ruling. So we ask the clan leaders to let us know what they think when they've played with these guns, because you also play a lot more in the pub games to see how they react, and let us know on that front, so that we can make it as fair as possible to everybody at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I believe there was already a first vote on a particular weapon. I don't know if there's an outcome on that vote yet. Slash, do you know?
No, to be honest, I missed a bit on Friday. So I know they were talking about one of the guns that really shouldn't be there.
The Tommy gun, right?
Yeah, the Tommy gun. Yeah. So but yeah, again, if that's the rule, we'll remove it. But at this stage, all the guns are fair play.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Excellent. So yeah, I know that's the two things we wanted to touch on this morning quickly. But let's get into the interesting conversations. So guys, both of you, both GSE as well as SBK, you guys are new to the league. Now, obviously from what I heard this morning, both of you are also relatively new to Battlefield and the Battlefield franchise, which is interesting because, I'll tell you why I think so, is that when I started playing Battlefield 4, there literally wasn't, there were selected groups and selected clans out there, but the community was a little bit shy, if I can put it that way, right? If you wanted to sort of find players to play with, or, find information about the game, you either had to go onto some international forums, or you had to join up with a, particular clan that was existing at the time to sort of get the sense of, I almost want to say the sense of community. And it was really only with Battlefield 1 where, there was a big community drive and setting up sort of what we have today. Now, obviously what we have today is still not 100% perfect, and that's why it's a work in progress. We are forever trying to build it out and make it better and do that sort of thing. But both you guys are new, so you are experiencing, sort of firsthand what we are trying to do and achieve and that sort of thing. So what I wanted to do this morning is, first of all, just, talk about your clans a little bit, sort of where they, the names, where they come from, sort of what is the clan all about, how did you guys end up, first of all, in a clan, and secondly of all, how did you guys end up in our community? And then, of course, I also want to know some things like, what is your experience so far around clan wars and the league and that sort of thing. So, Salty, maybe let's start there with you. Tell us a little bit about GSE, yourself, and then obviously, we'll get into some questions. I know that Slash has some questions with him, so Slash, during the talk, just jump in with your questions and ask away, man.
Cool beans.
Okay. So GSE, where to start? So we were just friends, I guess. There were like maybe 5 of us that were playing regularly together. We didn't have any idea of playing competitive or whatever. We just get on a Monday night and jam, and then I think that platoons thing came out where you could make your own platoon.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys, he just made the platoon and he called it the Gunslingers. And then he's like, yeah, guys, all join this thing. And we started joining and then just inviting people. And then, like, next thing we had like 40 to 50 members. And just random people
Yeah.
we don't even really know. So we met a couple guys online, and some of them left, and some of them like are part of our main team now, which is really cool. But so then we were the gunslingers for quite a while, just playing pubs and stuff, and then I was really keen on competitive, but I actually didn't know that Battlefield competitive existed, and a few of us were keen on like general gaming competitive, but we've never done it or didn't know how to do it. And then one of our guys, Keegs, he found your link on Facebook or something, and he shared it, and then like Calpone jumped on it instantly, and he was like, guys, listen, do you guys want to do this? And everyone was like, yeah, Kif. Registered us, and we like went through the name change. We were like, Gunslingers, we need to change that, so we changed it to Gunslingers Elite, basically so that we could be GSE, because that's like the Green Street Elite.
yeah, absolutely. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
where I guess GSE came from. Gunslingers, that was random. So what can I say now? We are 20 guys, I think 20 strong. All of us, I guess, like either friends, or I think there's two people we've recruited like just from pubs. Other than that, yeah, we all pretty much know each other in some way or the other. There's some connection through the ranks, and yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about it. We're enjoying it. Yeah, we hope to
Okay.
get better.
No, cool. So I mean, this is now obviously your first comp that you guys are playing in. So how do you find, firstly, Rush?
I think I like it. I don't like it as much as the 5v5, but a lot of the guys really do like it. It's a lot of fun, and it's very nail biting. It's just so the thing I don't like about it, I guess, compared to Conquest, is the lack of vehicles. So we had an ace pilot that we were really excited to show off, and then we didn't really get to show him off. And then I guess the other part is that it's extremely linear. So I mean, I'm sure there's some strategy or skill to it, but that I haven't figured out yet. Or
Can
figured out yet.
I just say something here about the ace pilot, just as an interesting war fact. During World War One, obviously you guys know that planes weren't super great, right? I mean, they were still pretty much experimental, a lot of them. And the average pilot actually spent more time on the ground than he did in his plane. So your ace pilot's welcome. He can come and run around and shoot, and he'll be right in the reality of war.
Sounds like me when I play pilot.
Excellent. Slash? Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So the other question is, the teams that you've played. Who did you find was tough teams to play and had good strategies? Either the T5 or the Premier League side of things.
So is this just general, like from league games, or part of our scrims as well?
No, just for the league currently. In your comp matches. Who's the guys that you find tough? And
comp matches. I feel like we're in quite a competitive T5 pool, so everyone's been quite tough, especially MRU and Mad, or Destruction. Rather, they are incredibly tough teams. They're just they've all got laser beams, but they're really cool teams. SNLV was also that was a really tough one. It was extremely close, and both maps that we won, we came back right at the last second, so they were really tough. Yeah, when I say that, yeah, those guys are tough. Those guys are good. I think we maybe are on par with everyone else, and we're coming out ahead maybe on strategy or one or two gunfights. But yeah, I think it's a tough pool. There's a lot of good teams in there. And then the T12, jeepers, it's surprisingly tough. Everyone seems really good. I mean, there were a lot of teams we were expecting to beat based on past scrims or stuff like that, and we actually lost, like ITF and I mean even SPK. We always knew SPK was going to be good, but we were surprised at how incredible they were.
And how good.
Honestly.
Yeah, that'll happen in comp, huh?
Yeah, honestly, it's like a different, not a different thing. Because you've seen SPK in pubs and you guys smash. Yeah, so I think we haven't played the two top teams. We haven't played Royal and NSMK in league yet. But yeah, we're having a lot of competition in Division 3 that we weren't expecting.
Cool. Right. So Salty in general then, I mean, the feeling that I'm getting from you guys is that even though you're new, I mean, you've got a bit of history there in terms of how, you guys sort of, met up. I mean, obviously, I know Calpone from jumping on my head one random Wednesday night and going, I know I'm late, but I need to get this team in. So I know that there was a bit of a reaction there and things like that. But it sounds in general like you guys are having fun. We'll look at the tables in a little bit as well. But obviously you guys are not performing badly at all at this point in time within the league. And yeah, maybe just to also give you my 2 cents on your comment, I definitely do think so. I mean, pub games are a lot different than playing a serious sort of clan game. And I mean, even with us, I mean, look, obviously, we're not part of a clan, so we play pub games all the time. But when I play alone, for example, I play, and this is not an excuse, but I just play really badly if I don't have the 2 other bros sort of hanging left and right of me and killing off some enemies. So yeah, I mean, I completely get that, right? It is. It's different when you get into a comp and the guys have their best players and there's some strategy involved and that thing, sort of versus a normal pub. So yeah, I totally agree with you. It's harder. Yep.
Yeah, and then just one maybe last question, and then I'll rotate this again through to Straatbrak Coalitie. What do you think? Does it actually improve? So you're playing these comps. Obviously, you've got to be up the skill level to try and win these other teams that's been playing these kind of games for a lot longer. Do you think it improves your normal skills in the pub games? How do you guys find that?
Oh yeah, geez, like 1,000,000%. I mean, not just pubs, like we are improving. I mean, particularly on our T5, we are improving all the time. And pubs, for me at least, I mean, I never used to play on the level that I'm playing on now in public games or in just general gunfights. So like 100% it improves you. It improves your map knowledge, your map awareness, like understanding map control, how to like get in and out of gunfights. It's just like, it's a game changer, 100% a game changer.
Absolutely. Lekker. Well, thanks for that, Salty. I think there was quite a few people out there that were wondering sort of a little bit about you guys and who you are. Obviously, with you coming onto the scene now in season 2, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it enough to stick around and join us for season 3 as well. So let's move on to Venom. So SBK there. Can I just say something? When you guys started with us, I said I liked the name Straatbrak Coalitie. What a mouthful. But I mean, I'd love to know where that comes from and that sort of thing. So tell us a little bit about SBK.
Well, SBK, we were like 3 members at the start. Only, well, myself, Arafat, and Gandok. We were just playing pub matches, and we wanted to play a bit more competitively, or just at least see can we compete at a higher level.
Yeah.
So I was basically on the couch writing down random names, a lot of random names. It was unbelievable the amount of random names I wrote down. And then my Jack Russells outside just started barking. So I was like, Straatbrak, there we go. It's Afrikaans, I'm Afrikaans, so it worked for me.
Yeah.
And then I had to get another word with it. And I Googled a few things, and Coalitie came up for a group or a group of people. And I'm like, Straatbrak, Coalitie. It sounds good. Rolls off the tongue, SBK. So that's how the name was formed. And I sent it through to the other guys, and they were like, "Yeah, no, it's cool. Let's make that our name."
So quick question then. Then obviously, once the name was born, then the logo had to be designed. Now,
the logo had to be designed.
Now we're going to talk a little bit more about that dingo that I see coming up on my screen every now and again.
Yeah, that was the next point I was going to. It was like Arafat is doing, I think it's graphics design or something like that he's studying. And basically Gandok typed into Google Images Straatbrak, and there was an image that popped up. And we were like, it's like this funky little dog that popped up. And I was like, send that to Arafat. He can design that thing for us. And well, it took him like, I don't know, half an hour or something like that. And he sent back the image, and we were like, that's exactly it. That's that little derpy dog is now our logo. That's gonna be the Straatbrak.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. And the thing is, it's quite a catchy logo as well. I mean, look, a lot of guys go with the very. I mean, if you look at, for example, GSE, and no offense, GSE, but I mean, it's a very professional, very sort of. It wants to strike fear into the hearts of the enemy sort of logo, right? And then you've got SBK, which is a bit of a fun, it's like a weird green, that sort of thing. This is the thing. This is what I'm saying. That logo is noticeable, right? I mean, I've seen, if it comes up on my screen, I'm like, there's that dingo again.
Well, at least it's working.
That's
what we were going for.
It's achieving the goal. It's definitely achieving the goal. But it's just interesting for me always to see, sort of what the guys come up with when it comes to logos, sort of matching their names and that sort of thing. And you can also sometimes see what the clan is, sort of all about when you look at their logo, right? So. I mean, for me, I look at the logo and I go, okay, well, these guys, it doesn't matter how they play at the end of the day, this is a fun thing, right? I mean, that's what I can tell from your logo.
Yeah. No, that's definitely the image that we wanted to create, or say that if people see our clan tag or clan emblem, they should know we're all about having fun. That's basically it.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying GSE doesn't want to have fun, but I reckon that there's a lot of striking fear into the hearts of the enemies with that.
We want to get down to business.
Excellent. Slash.
Yeah, so Venom, member-wise, I mean, how many guys did you guys now manage to recruit? How strong do you guys stand?
As of last night, I think we're at 38 members.
Okay.
SBK.
So these young new clans are showing the older clans also how to recruit, I reckon.
Well, one thing I should say, at the start we were like I said, 3 members, and we posted that recruitment thing on Facebook, and Achilles came back to me. He was a leader from Southside Serpents, SSS. And they also wanted to play competition. We were like, but listen, we did a lot of effort into making this little derpy dog. Would you be willing to play under our tag? And well, they said yes, and we grew to 17 members, and from there on now we're 38. So
fantastic.
That's how the clan grew, basically, from 3 guys to 17 to 38.
Okay, so it just jumped.
Basically it grew
small quickly to quite large, because I mean, 38 people in a clan is quite large. I reckon anything above 25 in any clan is quite big.
Yeah, I should say we have a lot of active players, but not always teaming up together. Like in pub matches, you will basically see in Conquest where 10 guys sometimes, if it goes well. Otherwise, it's like 4 of us running around trying to create havoc. And mostly the other players play TDM and domination. So we try to cover basically every part of the game
Yeah,
that can
Yeah.
come up.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and your experience specifically in Rush
Well,
from the comp side?
our first
Brand
intro
new?
to our first intro to Rush was uh, we we were supposed to play Falcon, and we were really amped to play, and the competition, getting into somebody's face. I like playing close quarters, so Rush it's quite nice for me. Like when you play Conquest, yeah, you run a lot. Hey, it's going somewhere, going back, going there, coming back. But Rush is in your face. Defending is quite. I like defending, the type of ideas you have to come up with to defend that MCOM for dear life. that's quite a fun side. But basically,
Sorry, man. So just something on that. Maybe just an interesting thing about that as well is that I've actually not heard a lot of people say that they like the defending part. I mean, obviously, I speak to a lot of guys who play, and most people that I speak to actually say, "Oh no, we want the attacking bit, because that's the part that we like, and we do well at that sort of thing." Is there a specific reason why the defending is call it a nice thing for you?
well, for some reason, the team gelled better on defending. Like when we played Royal, that was a wake-up call for us. They steamrolled us, but we take great pride in our defense because we stopped them from destroying all MCOMs.
Okay.
So that's why at the start it was like, okay, we have a good defense. Let's work on attack now. So that's basically we're still forming our attack. There's still some niggles to work out.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
Yeah, there's always room. There's always room, right, for getting better and improvement and that sort of thing. Sorry, Slash, I interrupted you again. Yes, I've no manners.
I was actually gonna touch on that point because it is interesting. I mean, most guys do tell us that they like attacking more than the defending side of things. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, you know where the points are. You can spread your guys out, and if you do that well, and then from there on you can move forward to attack better. I think you've built a very strong base because a lot of people, unless they steamroll you, they're very, very good at attacking, and they don't have to worry about defense. Then it's a good strategy to have in a new format. Because for me, and watching again the streams, it's such a fast-paced game. So there is some strategy in it, in what you need to do to protect yourself and also to move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it gets stressful at some points when those tickets fall quickly. That's the one thing of Rush, that CTK's game was very stressful.
Yeah, I've seen they've also improved very well as a team, and I actually have watched some of their games now. But yeah, also maybe just to end off as a last question, improvements on your side since you started playing these kind of comp games in your regular games and in comps. What is your thoughts behind it and in your team itself?
By far, everyone that's playing it, when you get into a competition environment, you feel like you have to perform way better, and also playing by rules. That's one thing that forces you to actually focus better. And it helped my skill improve quite dramatically when playing. Firstly, I was always being healed. Now I try not to be healed as much. but yeah, it's quite fun seeing how the team improved. Like all the players getting better, enjoying going out playing pub matches, knowing next week who's next, who do we have to face to prove a point again.
Yeah. It was interesting to me there when you said you try not get healed so often. I was about to say you get healed. Yeah, no. I really hope in the next Battlefield title they incentivize healing a little bit better, because it is obviously it's definitely a shortfall. I think at the moment, you get like the hardcore medic guys, that are serious about keeping their team alive, and then you get the guys who like the medic guns, right? And those are also the guys who forgot how to use their syringe. So that's sort of...
Well, yeah, that's one of the horrors of pub matches when you play. It's like, medic, you're 1 meter away from me.
Yeah.
Please, I'm begging you now, like really. And then he runs off into the...
Yeah, dude, the guy stands on your hand and then loads and then throws like a medic pack to the other guy that has like 92% health.
Yeah, that's always heartbreaking.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Slash, was that the questions you had this morning, or is there anything else?
No, I think that wraps it up, Jaco.
Lekker, man, lekker. So gents, if you first of all, thank you very much for the two of you answering some of our questions. I do think that there's a lot of people out there that always sort of wonder about the new clans and where they're from and how they find the games and that sort of thing. And today was really the first time that we did it now within season 2, and of course the plan for us is to on a regular basis, get some other clans in here as well. Ask them sort of the same questions. Yeah, where they're from and what they're all about and that sort of thing. But gentlemen, from my side, thank you to the two of you for answering those questions for us. So what we are going to do now is I am watching the time for us, and we're going to move over to the tables. And our guest this morning, guys, when we go through the tables, please feel free to jump in and comment about teams and teams that you've played against or things that you've heard about them or whatever may be the case. This is not a sort of a closed section, so if there's some comments from your side, please feel free to do so. As long as there's no swearing involved, I'm quite good with it. So what you'll see on the screen now is I've moved over to the website, and yes, that is actually the website that you are looking at. And how cool is that? It's freaking awesome. So guys, if you are looking at the website, you'll see it does look different. It's not completely revamped as yet. There are still some things at the back end that Fearless Scully is working on very hard from his side. But this is Scully's handiwork. So in his absence this morning, I just want to say thank you to him as well for his dedication in terms of doing the upgrade and the revamp and that sort of thing. The back end is now completely done, so that everything is 100% sorted on the back end. And then of course now the cosmetic side of it is starting up. And again, if you guys are looking at the screen right now, and you would have been looking at the screen for the last sort of 5 minutes, that is what the call it the homepage of the new website looks like, and I do think it looks really good. I don't know if the GSE or SBK guys are looking at while you are talking to me on the stream. I don't think so, but Slash, I know you've got it open there on your side as well.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it looks a lot better than the old site. I personally like it a lot, and a lot of effort has gone into it to get to this stage. So yeah, thanks Scully. I know we spent a lot of hours on it, and some sneaky hours also on it. To get it to this point, but it looks awesome. I mean, I think this is a nice platform to just build on from going forward.
Absolutely.
Finishing season 2 and then into season 3. Absolutely. So guys, you will notice that the navigation is still pretty much the same. The only difference is that obviously at the moment the home button on where it's situated, you will not see on the stream as it is at the moment because of the barring on the sides. But when you do go onto the website, you will see the home button on the top left hand corner as well. It's just cut off there by the little blue frame this morning. So what we are going to do is, first of all, let's move on to Premier League and the Premier League tables. And actually what I need to do is I need to remove this bar now, because I would have to redesign the bar next week so that we can see all of it, but the tables are a little bit bigger and the writing's a little bit better and that sort of thing, so you will see it there now. So if we are looking at the tables over here, let me just go into this for a second quickly, and then just make sure that I can. And guys, I am testing this morning as well.
Let me just see if I can get it Division 1 in. There we go. So you will see now Division 1, that is Premier League tables for Division 1. They are on the screen there now. And for some other odd reason, I do apologize, but I can't seem to scroll the tables. And this is a very interesting thing, because this is probably the new code that is not allowing me to scroll it, Slash.
Oh, okay. Some gremlins that we need to sort out.
Yeah. And that will be problematic this morning, because I can't show you guys. I can only see the top of the tables, unfortunately. So I can't.
I can scroll the tables.
Yes, it does scroll the tables on the website, but the way that the stream is integrated is that it doesn't actually allow me to scroll the tables within the stream. So that's something that I would definitely need to sort out in terms of how we get past that. All right, so what we'll need to do, unfortunately, is that I will not be able to show you the tables on the stream, but what we can do is I can pull them up separately, and we can still talk about them, and we can still talk through all the results. So what I'm going to do is, let me just pull up the tables here on a side screen. And it's actually very interesting to me, because when I tested it on Wednesday night, it did actually scroll. So the gremlins are out. Right. So let's talk about the tables. Guys, if you would like to follow us on the tables, you can do so. That is on www.bfclanwars.net. Again, I apologize that I can't show it to you on the screen this morning. There seems to be a little bit of a hiccup that doesn't allow me to scroll it directly on the stream for you. But we are looking at Season 2, Division 1, and the teams in there at the moment, at the top we have LGD on 14, and that is after this week's result, and we have MAD on 11. And at the moment, let me just quickly go in here. At the moment, I mean, we watched the game between but we'll get onto that when we talk about the Division 3 games. But we had some games this week that we watched. Unfortunately, I did not get to watch any Division 1 games. Again, at the top, LGD with 14, MAD with 11, sharing that position with Lots also on 11. Then we have MRU on 9 points, DPS in 5th position with 8. Then we have Red on 6, and then we have DI there as well. Guys, from your perspective, any sort of teams here that you guys have played in pubs? I mean, I know that this is not the division that the two of you are in, but surely you've faced some of these teams in pubs, and what are some of the opinions there?
Basically, always when you run into someone from Lake, it's fun. Also, matters enjoy playing against those guys in pubs. Lots I don't really always find. MIU is always everywhere.
Yeah.
And DPS, I haven't really seen them in pubs a lot. That's one thing that I picked up. But always, it's Force, or just saying by itself, Legend being first.
Yeah.
They're a good team, a strong team, well played.
Absolutely. Salty, from your side?
Lots is always killing me with dynamite. always something funny.
This
band has always got some funny tricks up his sleeve.
There's two kills that I find that it makes me want to switch my game off, and that is if I get knife or if I get dynamite. So either of those makes me feel like I'll just switch it off, because apparently I'm sleeping anyway. So
the bomber. What about the bomber?
Luke, speaking about the bomber, I think that thing is very OP, right?
It's too OP.
It's hectic, and there's a lot of people that are actually complaining.
And there's like 10 people dead.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. You're still running there, enjoying it, and dead.
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I think what stands out for me, Yaku, is Lots is our previous season division winners, and they are climbing the ranks in Division 1, which is fantastic to see, you know. So coming from Division 2 into Division 1 and still playing well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you think about it, they were around before season 1, but really joined us in season 1 into Division 2. And as you are saying, they are performing exceptionally well here in Division 1. I mean, at the moment, they're on exactly the same score metrics as what MAD is. Both being, played 4 games, won 3, lost 1. They're on the same bonus points. So, I mean, they're very, very level with MAD in terms of sharing that second position. And then, of course, so I think, look, I mean, I know LGD and MAD, was an incredibly good game. We managed to spectate that one as well. But I do think that Lots is right up there, and they are competing very hard. Again, I mean, so far, congratulations to LGD, who are at the moment on top of the Division 1 table. There's still, obviously a couple of games to go. We are sort of just past mid season. We're moving on to the latter half of the season. Still some games left, but obviously LGD performing very well at the moment, right?
Yeah, no, excellent. How they play this rush tournament and their strategy in these kind of games.
Excellent. So, guys, we're moving on then to Division 2. Again, if you are following us this morning, we ran into an internet gremlin, and I'm not able to actually show you the tables on the stream because I can't scroll them. So if you would like to, please follow along with us on www.bfclanwars.net. That is where you will find all the tables that we are speaking about this morning, and we are talking about the Premier League tables at the moment and looking at Division 2. So Division 2 is this is an interesting division for me as well, because there's some teams here that I didn't expect to see. We've got 4Q there at the top with 14. We have SNLV on 12. They're in the second position at the moment. Then sharing a position on 11 points is First and PF. Then we have THC on 9, Raw on 3, WTF on 2, and then we've got VTR in there with the 1 point at the bottom. And I think for me, again, I've said this, I think I said this last week as well. The team that's impressing me here is definitely SNLV, right? I mean, we know that 4Q is a good team, and I sort of expected them and First, as well as PF, to sort of lie at the top end of the table. But THC, SNLV, very, very impressive at the moment. And then obviously we've got Raw there as well. Which, to be honest, I actually thought would be a little bit higher up in the table, because they're an exceptionally good team as well. I don't think that the scoring actually reflects their position at the moment, because their games were very, very close. But like I said, there's still a couple of games left, and definitely still some room for Raw to move. They, like I said, there's depth in that team, and they are a strong team as well. But for me personally, SNLV standing out at the moment. I don't know if there's any views on that, on these clowns.
Yeah, they're obviously doing well in the rush tournaments. Previous season in Conquest they did struggle a bit, but I'm happy to see always that a team finds a specific game mode and can do better at it. Whether this is just the game mode or if it's just them better playing, as a team, we can maybe bring them on board on a Saturday and ask them.
Absolutely. I do think, though, that I spoke to one of the SNLV guys during the week, and he said to me that they are actually quite enjoying the rush. So I think it could potentially be a combination of that. The rush tournament that they are finding that they're having fun on, as well as obviously, as a team, they're probably improving as they go through the season and the league as well. So, but yeah, I agree. I think the best way to do it is to get them in here and ask them the question, what happened, guys? We see that you are number 2 on the table at the moment and doing very well. So that would be an interesting thing to answer. Obviously.
Yeah, and
Sorry, Slash?
Yeah. No. I just wanted to say, I mean, obviously we mentioned it before. You know, the scores doesn't always reflect how close these games end. I mean, and again, we saw it in the LGD game against Mad.
Yes.
Some good gameplay, but it's so fast-paced and so quick that you know, you still lose the game, but you end up on the scoreboard at a certain point.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the other thing as well is that, you know, or the other teams as well. I mean, First and PF, I mean, we saw them in the previous season as well. And obviously, these guys are playing some very, very good games. Both of them have only also lost one. So, I mean, those scores at the top, you know, 11, 11, 12, and 14, very, very tight at the moment. And there's still literally just one game in it between the top four guys on this table. So, you know, if you manage to get a game with a bonus point, then any of these teams can actually still go to the top, right? So some interesting games still left. I think, / correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's about 5 games left for the remainder of the season. So we are getting close to less and less games, but definitely still some room for movement here, especially at the top 4.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with all the games still in hand, you know, it's still anybody's you know, game to win.
Absolutely. Right, moving on to Division 3 then, and this is a very, very interesting division, and we had the privilege of watching this game between MSMK and Royal this week as well, and at the top at the moment, MSMK on 23, Royal on 20, SBK on 19, GSE on 15, Lots on 13, CTK on 11, ITF on 11, Reka on 8, and then we have Raw 2 there on 7. Snot on 5 and Sons of Anarchy on 5. So, gents, this is the division that you guys are playing in, and literally number 3 and 4 at the moment after your 6 games that have been played. So, I mean, right there at the top, you know, with the 2 leading teams, MSNK and Royal at the moment, and yeah, I think it's tough. I think this is a tough division.
Yeah. It's extremely tough when, like I said, playing against Royal first, the nerves were there. Didn't expect them to steamroll us like that. But still, playing against each week, it's a new challenge. Having to figure out the team in those first 2 MCOMs, how they attack. That's the fun part as well, to strategize and thinking. For us, there's no really sitting down in the week and, okay, who is this team? Let's talk about them.
Yeah.
Except for MSMK, everyone knows MSMK.
The monkeys. So Salty, from your guys' perspective, I mean, from a scoring perspective, just those couple of points under SBK, but at the moment, you guys are actually above the Lots team that are sitting in 5th. On the 13 points. So, I mean, as a new team, you know, looking at a team like Lots that has some history and, you know, some, call it veteran players in them and that sort of thing. I mean, that for both you guys, actually, that must be, you know, when you look at it as a team, I mean, you guys must feel sort of really proud at how far you guys have both come in such a short period of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know we definitely feel proud of our position on the scoreboard. We don't always feel proud after our games, and up and down, but like just seeing that we're not dead last and that we can actually win a few, and there are times where we actually do some smashing.
Yeah,
it feels good. Yeah, it really does make us proud.
Absolutely, and what you're saying is true, right? I mean, there's I like to call it the Friday morning blues, because often what happens is on a Friday morning, because so many games are being played on Thursday, you know, there's always this Friday morning, you know, sort of message that I get, and I can hear the voice, I can hear the tone in the message going, "Hi, I'm just reporting my score." You know. So yeah, it does happen that sometimes you know, either my dad was a very wise guy, and he once said to me that, "Son, remember that some days you're the bird and some days you're the statue." And I thought that was very, very apt. That some days, especially in Battlefield as well, some days you are the bird and some days you are the statue. And those sad Friday mornings, unfortunately you were the statue. Absolutely. But look, it's great to see that you guys are sort of, making very good headway. Two very good positions on the scoreboard at the moment, and as two new teams. I do think you guys have something to be proud of, and from that perspective, I think very well played. Of course, Slash, me and you, we watched the MSMK game against Royal with Scully, and yes, how exciting was that?
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was a very, very fast-paced game. I think both teams played excellently. Royal, I think, did lose it, and we had a bit of discussion with Triplets on their first, MCOMs that MSMK took. But the defending, the attacking, the strategies in place, playing with gas, using fire when it needs to be used, and using the MCOMs when that needs to be used, it was an excellent match. Nail biting, to the end.
Absolutely.
And really to the end in certain places where, time has run out, there's no more tickets, and, it's just now, do I save the MCOM or do I lose it? So, yeah, it was absolutely exciting.
Great.
Yeah, I wanted to say, no disrespect to the monkeys, but I think they were eating their words a little bit. Because I don't think they expected Royal to fight them. I think they were expecting a walkover.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Royal is the defending, sort of T5 champions. So I wasn't expecting Royal to, let it go and sort of, lie down and, take a beating. But I said it during the stream as well, is that I was very, very impressed with the way that Royal played, especially from a defending perspective. They defended like beasts. And yeah, and at the end, the score, the score was 4-1 from an MCOM perspective. But really, the first three MCOMs were taken, within the first sort of, 5 or so minutes of the first match. And then I think Royal realized that, look, we've got to change our strategy, and they, switched it up, and they were defending like crazy. Now, again, taking nothing away from the monkeys, right? These guys are beasts as well, and they play an exceptional game. So, I don't want to make it sound like they were disappointing in any way, because they weren't. It was a great game to watch. But it made it that much better, the fact that Royal, was sort of not lying down and really, really fighting back, hard and well. And both teams very, very impressive during that game.
Yeah, MSMK was it was interesting to look at the defense, or their defense in any case. It was very in face.
Yeah.
They didn't give Royal a chance to get to the MCOMs. They were dropping tickets extremely quick.
Yeah, I think both games. Look, in both circumstances, when both teams were attacking, the ticket count didn't last long, right? The entire
the game was over. So quick.
The entire game was like 36 minutes. So everyone was killing everyone as fast as everyone else, and at the end, I think that does show that the two teams were very well matched. With the breakthroughs sort of here and there. But at the end again, well played to the monkeys, not wanting to take anything away from them, but Royal really, really impressive on a defending side, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, gents, that is the Premier League tables. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the T5 tables. Again, if you are just joining us, thank you very much for joining. If you are subscribed, that's great. If you are not, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the little bell to get your notifications whenever we go online. wonderful, brisk Saturday morning that we are chatting to a couple of guests also. Again, if you've just joined us, we've got we've got Salty Pie from GSE and Venom from SBK, and obviously we've got the residents as well. Slash is also here. Unfortunately, Scully couldn't join us, having some internet gremlins this morning. And if you're also just joining us and not seeing the tables while we are talking about them on the screen, we apologize for that, guys. That is a gremlin on my side, that I'm not able to scroll the tables this morning, but we are talking through them. And if you are following us online, you can do so at www.bfclanwars.net, where you will find all the tables. And we are going to go into the T5 tables now and looking at Pool 1. So at the moment, Pool 1, the teams, as I read them through, it's LGD FaZe on 18, sharing that position with Royal also on 18 points. Third position, we have VTR there on 15, followed by UB on 12, DI on 9, DPS Silver on 7. Then we've got the girls there on the 7th position, GSG on 6, Raw Headhunters on 3, and then BLXM on 3 as well. And then, of course, we have MDK, which is withdrawn from that pool. So, guys, I think in this pool, the interesting team for me, and obviously the pool that we're talking about is Pool 1, is, I expected to sort of see LGD and Royal there at the top. Royal vigorously defending the title as we speak. But I think the interesting teams for me here is VTRN and UB.
I agree.
Yeah, because VTRN, if you look at the Premier League table, their performance there different than their performance in this pool. Really, really standing out for me as one of the top teams in this pool. And then interestingly enough, UB as well. When the season started, I didn't, in all honesty, expect to see UB this high up in the table at this time of the league. So that for me very impressive as well. And then the other thing, before I give everybody an opportunity to give me their opinions, is that the girls in 7th position, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect from the girls from GSG. They're brand new. It's the first time that they're playing here. But I watched one of their games the other night, and they actually play pretty good also. And I think they can be proud of where they lie, and especially they can be proud of the way that they've played so far. So, gents, it's open for your opinions on Pool 1.
Yeah, I think the goals. I think that will be a very interesting game. But yeah, the goals. I think it's to sit where they are sitting, and some of the games was also quite close. They've never played together, so they formed this team this season. I think they are playing very well, compared to some of the other teams inside here. But yeah, I think you're right. The Royal versus LGD, to see how they're gonna come out is going to be an exciting game. VTRN, it's an old team that I played for. Really well done, sitting on 3rd place. And but there's still a lot of games, Yaku. So I think we can still see some movement. So I'm not going to put my money like Skelly on anybody this season round.
Yeah, that money story, sure.
It's staying in my pocket, so
me as well. It's going nowhere. Plus, I was saying to somebody on the Facebook page that said there was a comment made on the Facebook page about, okay, so how does the payment happen? And I was like, look, dude, my credit card at the moment can't take anymore, so just leave it where it is. That's cool. But Slash, I agree with you, man. I think again, Royal for me, impressive. That VTRN, UB. I actually like watching UB's games. They sometimes have a really aggressive sort of strategy in their games. So I like watching these guys as well. But all of these teams, right, are nice to watch. They're good to watch, and we all love Battlefield, so we will watch any team play, right? But it's always good to see how the guys progress and how they improve and sort of go up the ranks. So moving on then to Pool 2 in the T5. And here we have DPS Gold at the top with 16. We've got the Saltary Swingers, which is the other MSNK team, on 15. First on 13, CTK on 10. Sons of Anarchy on 10 as well. The MRUs on 9. And then THC's second team, or THC2, is on 3. Now, the important thing just to highlight here is that DPS Gold is at the top at the moment with 6 games that have been played, and position 2, 3, and 4, which is MSNK, First, and CTK, have all just played 5 games. And with the scoring then, of course, individually being 16, 15, and 13 there and 10 for CTK. So I do believe that there might be some shuffles here. MSNK, First, both have that one extra game in hand, and there's only 3 points difference between the third and the first place at the moment. So that is definitely still an opportunity for that to sort of switch around. But yeah, DPS Gold at the top at the moment. So well done to them. I think the other team here for me that I'm very interested in watching besides MSNK, the other 2 teams actually is First and CTK. First is a team that has been around for a while, right? And these guys play exceptionally well, and they also have some titles to their names. CTK is a well, I don't know. They used to be this. Fun, we don't really care about competition team, but yes, as these guys, when you meet them on the battlefield, they some days they wreck.
True, that's very true.
They've got some really strong guys.
Yeah, the thing is with SOA is that with them specifically, I think at the moment they've had a couple of unlucky things happen to them in games. Because they have exceptionally good players, right? And if you get these guys in pubs, you will see that logo coming up often, because they can wreck, when they play together. But I think in the comp games that they have been in, here and there, they've had unlucky moments within those games. And because of that, they've had a couple of losses. So again, as Slash said earlier, I don't think that sometimes the league table reflects how close some of these games are, and how close some of these guys came to winning the game. But at the end, it is a win or it is a loss. You've got to draw the line somewhere. But I agree, they are an exceptionally strong team as well. And if you meet them in pubs, you will notice that, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, certainly. But also for most of these teams, T5 is brand new. None of them has played this before. We had a handful of guys in season 1 that actually did play. So it's nice to see how people do take this game mode on and how they perform.
Excellent. I agree.
Love this game mode.
Yeah. So look,
my favorite.
Yeah, the thing is that with and maybe we can just touch on that as well. The Premier League will always remain the Premier League, right? And that is the thing that will get the focus of a lot of focus from our side, because of the fact that this is Battlefield, right? Well, it's Battlefield, right? It's known for big games, 32 players a side, and one day hopefully we'll be on 64 players a side, and especially with things coming in like there's a lot of games that are going into Battle Royale and Battle Royale modes. Because people want, bigger games, more players on the same map playing together and that sort of thing, right? And this is what Battlefield also, knows how to do. The net code and everything is designed, to accommodate a lot of players on a map, and sometimes on some of the biggest maps in games. So, while the T5 for me, I definitely agree, is a very exciting game mode and is definitely something that will stay. I mean, at the moment, there's not anything on the cards that says we will take it away or not have it in the next season or whatever may be the case. There's always this thing in my head that, why do I play Battlefield, right? I play Battlefield because it's the big game, big map, lots of enemies, that sort of thing. So from a competitive perspective, definitely the T5 is it's doing really well, and there's a lot of people that are liking it. But yeah, there's always the big game as well, right? So that's just my opinion. I don't know if there's anybody that if you guys agree with me, or if you think that the T5 is the thing that's going to go bigger going forward.
I think it's the T5 is maybe it's because it's more concentrated. It feels like the teams can really flex the strong players.
Yeah,
showing like this is what a legend team looks like. This is what GSE looks like when the top 5 guys are playing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. From that perspective. Right, guys. Moving on to Pool 3 then. So the second last table. So here we have LGD Asset at the top on 18, MSNK, that's the Banana Bays, on 16, Lots on 15, PPX, which is Phoenix, on 12. We've got Mayhem on 11, THC on 10, and then we've got Raki there on 4. So again, two strong teams at the top, LGD and MSNK, and I think this is going to be a great game as well. At the moment, I get the feeling though that everybody's sort of laying aim to LGD, right? I mean, if we talk about games that we want to watch, the previous table we talked about Royal and LGD, then we talk about MSNK and LGD. So I think MSNK and LGD on the firing range at the moment. People ganging up, wanting to see their games. But this is good for me to see, right? Because at the end, like I said, I speak to a lot of people, and the general opinion is that the only way that you really get to play better is by actually pushing your team and pushing yourself, against some of these teams. Now, of course, the whole idea around the way that we do clan wars and the structure that is implemented is to make the game competitive, but also make it fun in a sense. I mean, not so the idea with the divisions is that there's good games all around. That you play teams that are as good or a little bit better than you are, but not get steamrolled by, for example, a Division 1 team if you play in Division 3. But I do think that at the end, the only way that your team really, really improves is if you sort of play through that division and then move up to the next division, and that's where the real challenge then comes in. But very, very good teams in this pool. I mean, personally, the only guys that I haven't seen play at all is Phoenix in this pool over here. So I don't know if there's anybody that knows these Phoenix guys or that have seen them play. I've unfortunately not had an opportunity to.
No, not from my side,
really
Jacob.
strong from what I've seen. I don't know where they come from or anything, but also surprising.
Okay, that's very interesting. I mean, I like I said, I don't really. I mean, I know they were. They only started now a year with us in season 2 as well. So maybe Slash, that's somebody else that we can get in and get a little bit more of the information of, in terms of where they come from and that sort of thing. But lying fourth on the table at the moment, just after Lot, so not doing too badly. But in this pool, well done to LGD and MSNK. LGD there on 18 and MSNK on 16. They're the two teams at the top at the moment. Then, guys, moving on to the last pool, and the teams over here sharing the first position, Destruction and MRU, both on 18 points. Then we've got the boykies from GSE. That's it, Salty, lekker, on 12. Then that's the third position. Then we have Red and SNLV both on 10, WTF on 9. We've got 4Q then here on 7, Lots on 6, and then ITF and Snot at the bottom, ITF there on 4 points. Now, again, I mean, you can see through this table, I mean, we saw 4Q leading their division in the T12, and here they're on 7th position. So obviously favouring the rush gameplay at the moment. But Salty, from your perspective, I mean, you guys are right up there against the two top teams in this pool, being Destruction and MRU. So, well done on that. Also, I see that, there's not much in it. 12 versus 18. That's sort of, there's time to turn that around still as well. But clearly, this is also not a very easy pool. For me, the interesting thing here is that the two teams that are performing very well in their T12 division, which is SNLV and 4Q, both of them here are slightly lower, sort of on the on the division table. So it definitely shows that there is a big difference between the two game modes in terms of how the teams are playing. So, Saltim, because you're in this division, I'm going to give you an opportunity here to sort of, tell us and highlight what you found and, who was difficult here and that sort of thing.
So, we played, I think our very first game was MRU, and they really gave us a good spanking. And then shortly after, we played Destruction and got another spanking. So we dropped 2 losses quite early. So, I can tell you MRU and Destruction are really strong. I don't know who's gonna win out of those two. I think I'm leaning towards Destruction. They're a little bit they seem a little bit more refined. But yeah, so like you said, it's I feel like it's quite a competitive pool.
Yeah.
SNLV, 4Q Mate, Red, W2F, all have really strong T5 teams, and I don't know why they're sitting where they are on the log. Maybe they also they got a bad hand almost, that they had to play the top two, like Destruction, MRU, early on, and they're still going to get their wins later on. But like you said, I think a lot of changes could still happen here.
Yeah,
we've got some tough games coming up against Red, against 4Q Mates. We haven't counted our chickens yet.
Good thing, man. Good thing, man. Excellent. So, guys, that is the tables then for this morning. Again, if you, I hope that you're not just joining us now, because then you are clearly very late sleepers. But if you have joined us recently, then you would have noticed that unfortunately we couldn't show you the tables this morning, and that's because of a technical glitch on our side. I apologize for that. But please go and check out those tables on www.bfclanwars.net. If you've joined us for the stream this morning, thank you very much for joining. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the little bell to get your notifications. We were very fortunate this morning to be joined by two very nice gentlemen, one from GSE, Salty Pie, and one from SBK, who is Venom. So we had some good chats, and you guys are welcome to also leave a comment regarding some of the things that were said in the stream down below, and I'll happily look at those comments. I always like getting some feedback. But effectively, that is what we had this morning for the show. It was fun having everybody on, and I'm going to give everybody sort of a last opportunity or last word. So, Salty, let's start there with you, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having us on, guys. It's been cool to, I guess, introduce the clan. And just a thanks to you guys. I feel like you guys are doing a really cool job. I'm digging this whole competition, and I really dig the community you guys have created. I know you guys get a lot of hate, but from my side, I'm really happy. So thank you, guys.
Lekker, man, lekker. I don't know about the hate. I get like fan mail. Cool. Lekker. Venom, your side.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on the show, guys. It was fun to introduce SBK to the community, and yeah, thanks for hosting a great show. That's all I can say.
Lekker. Slash.
Yeah, just thanks for Venom and Salty coming on board and telling us their stories. And then I just want to say thank you to Riplets. Standing up this week with Nico also being absent, taking care of the fixtures and the scores, and doing a great job getting everybody to list those kind of things. And then congrats to Nico. He's a dad with another baby on board. So and to everybody out there, to the next series of games this week, good luck. and we look forward seeing those games played.
Excellent, excellent. Obviously, as Slash said, congratulations to Niku, who's our league master. And for those of you who don't know, Niku is Bokes81. I just, sometimes the name and the handle are different. Not in my case, of course, but I mean, other people have different names and handles. So congratulations to Niku. I think what happened there is that he's going for a different recruitment strategy. If he can't get more, if he can't recruit more players, he'll just make them, right? So, so let's see if that works out for him. But good on you, Niku, and congratulations from our side. So guys, that's what we had for this morning. I really enjoyed having all of you on the show. It was great to talk to you. Again, apologies for some of the technical issues that were there in terms of showing you the tables. But I found out some interesting information this morning, and I hope that if you joined us for the stream this morning, you found out something that you didn't know as well, especially from the guests that joined us. Obviously, during the week, we will have our game streams, and hopefully by then the Terminator Scully Rebel would have sorted out his internet gremlins, and we'll have him back on the stream as well. But Slash, I look forward to streaming with you again this week, and having the Slash cam there as well. But yeah, that's it. That's our Saturday morning, and from our side, that is what we had. So guys, thank you very much for joining us again. I'm Yakusao for Battle Bros. See you on the battlefield.